All right, guys, we're live, and just a quick welcome to everybody to the Audible Extacy live show. We are back for second week in a row. It's almost a miracle. Jimmy.
That it is.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, Chris, Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'm Anthony, and deaf in my right ear, so you have to overlook me tonight.
I'm Chris, and I'm clear in both ears.
That's good, man. That's real good. That's always positive. All right, guys. Just going to start off real fast by I got my stuff over here on the iPad, and I'm just going to start this off with a great conversation piece that you guys should love. What about that Charlottesville protest last weekend?
Yeah. I don't know all the I don't know all the ins and outs about it, but if they would just let those morons alone, let them do their thing, none of this would have happened.
I would agree, but there's all kinds of stuff coming out, in this past week. Like, I guess the state police or the Charlottesville police are saying they were told to stand down to let them go ahead and duke it out or something like that.
Yeah, that was our lovely governor.
Yeah. Terry McCollum, inciting social riots.
He was one of, just so you know, his background, he was Hillary Clinton's campaign manager at one point in time.
Well, yeah, I know.
So that tells you where he stands. I guess he thought that the Black Lives Matter people probably had the upper hand, so he's going to let them
run over
take it out on the Nazis there. So
I'm not taking sides on either one, but I think everybody's acting like a bunch of damn idiots.
Dude, Anthony, that's the side I'm taking. If you support either one of those groups, you're a freaking moron.
Yeah, you really are. Yeah.
You know what? And this is what kills me. I'm a huge metal fan. The metal, I don't know what the hell's wrong with the metal community. The majority of these morons are just like, absolutely saying that slamming Donald Trump for not doing something. I'm not sure what he could have done. The fire had already started. He's not going to be able to defuse that. All he could say is, I don't agree with either side. That's it.
I didn't vote for Trump, and I'll gladly admit that. But at the same time, I don't think the guy can win for losing.
Oh, he's not going to.
The guy could cure cancer, and they'd still find something against him.
You're right, man.
we live in a polarized country. That's all there is to it. It's really a shame.
I agree, man.
I'll tell you.
That tells you how ignorant our society is. It's just pathetic.
I was thinking about this the other day when I was driving home, and I don't know how you guys feel about the whole Civil War monument things. Seems to be kind of what was at the root of this to begin with. And I'll tell you, Anthony, I don't know if you familiar with this Ancestry.com website at all.
I've never done it, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, my brother got it as a Christmas present. And, my brother's a real studious kind of guy, and he's always been interested in genealogy. So his wife got him a subscription for a year for so he could research a family history, basically.
Right.
So I'd log on to his account from time to time and look at some of it. And this guy's traced it back to 4 different lines into Europe. I mean, back to one stretching into the 1500s, right? Well, a lot of things, I was just looking at different family members, and I've got great grandparents who fought in the Civil War. And I see pictures of them when they were 15 years old in a little Confederate soldier outfit, stuff like that. I think the problem is so many people who aren't from the South don't understand that to us, I don't think that war was, slavery was a part of it, but I guarantee you my ancestors from over here in Appalachia didn't have any slaves. They were fighting because their homeland was getting invaded, and they felt like something they had to do. And to take down these to me, taking down these monuments belittles them, and that bothers me. That's just, I guess that's all there is to it.
I don't know, man. I don't know why we have statues up anyways of a lot of things in this country anyways. So, Confederate or not, there's probably, unless you do something great like Abraham Lincoln did, maybe you shouldn't really have a statue.
Man,
it opens up too many cans of worms.
Well,
You know,
yes, but people need to grow a little thicker skin than they have, in my opinion. It's
I agree.
ridiculous.
Our society has got no thick skin anymore.
I'm just going to throw you out something that is basically a meme I saw this week on the web. We're going to tear down all these statues because of slavery. I guess we probably need to head over to Egypt and take down those pyramids, because I'm pretty damn sure that was built by a bunch of slaves as well.
That's a good
I
point.
think. Don't get me wrong.
was,
And I'm pretty sure those guys were of all colors, not just black people, because they had Africans there, obviously, right in the middle of Africa.
Well, it was whoever
They
the
had-
Egyptians conquered back in the day. Yeah, they enslaved the people. They brought them in. They made them work for them. That's how it works.
That's exactly right.
The Romans did to build the Colosseum, probably. I mean, depending on how far back you want to go,
Slavery has been there. It's
been a part of society.
And nowadays, it's not prevalent, thank God, because there's a human right to be here on this world. And
yeah.
to forget our history, you erase that, history repeats itself at some point in time. We may never see it, but can you imagine if something like that ever came back into play?
Yeah. I mean, you're doomed to repeat it if you don't try and keep it in your mind somewhere.
You can't erase this. I understand people want to, but you cannot erase what's happened. And I know that there's a bunch of idiotic, far right-minded.
That's the problem. These people have adopted like the Confederate flag and all that stuff for the wrong reasons, in my opinion. Like that, and that is the problem. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how we three grew up together, and I promise you, the racial tension was not there. If it was, I was never aware of it.
Well, Jimmy, there was hardly anybody of African American descent in our school. So,
well, think about this though. I played sports. I played all three of them, and I got the battle against the people at Virginia High. Not only did I, and Virginia High was obviously the most interracial school in our district back then. There's no doubt about it. I grew up with friends playing basketball against these guys that I played basketball up into my 30s, and some of these guys I played against in my 40s. So that just tells you there is a greater tie. And I've lost a couple of friends that we went to high school with because of the whole election, which is retarded.
Yeah, people shouldn't let politics get between friends. That's just.
Don't get me wrong, dude. I know that we all three do not see eye to eye on everything. There is no damn doubt about it. I'm as stubborn as it gets. But you know what? I'm not a Republican, and I'm damn sure not a Democrat.
Yeah, I mean, I fall somewhere between these days myself. I think the Democrats are a little too liberal, and the Republicans are a little too tight. They all need to meet in the damn middle, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't. Of course, I don't get paid the big bucks to make these decisions. I have no idea why they can't get in the middle and meet. It doesn't seem like it's that freaking hard to meet. But hey, you know what? They don't pay me $250,000 and give me all the benefits in the world to sit up in an Oval Office all day and take summers off. So.
But getting back to the protest, I mean, I think it's in our Constitution. We have the right to protest, assembly, free speech, everything we want to have. So, I mean, if these idiots want to go out and
that's the thing. These Nazis weren't breaking the law. I mean, they
actually had their permit.
They had a permit to do that. It's just
that's what I'm saying. If they just left those assholes alone and let them grow back their cockroach trailers or wherever they belong, they could crawl back into the little holes.
Exactly. Give them 5 minutes of freaking fame. Let them walk down the street with some torches and screaming white power or whatever the hell they say. It's ridiculous. It's
go on and be done.
Exactly. But you get these Antifa retards out there, and they want to freaking cover their face up like the Klan and go attack people and throw things and throw bricks and break buildings and all this other crap.
Yeah.
You know what? This is exactly what happens because the police didn't get involved because they were told to stand down.
This is all on Terry McAuliffe. I agree 100%. That guy, the fact that he told the police to stay away from it and just let whatever happen is ridiculous. Yeah. They should have called when they caught wind of this. They should have had the military storm in that town and shut it down.
I agree.
I know what they should have done.
They were telling us. They were telling us down here today to stay out of Durham because they were having peaceful protests.
Yeah,
in the Durham streets today and everything. So they were advising travel through there right now. So
all I'm going to say is this: if you're the kind of person that wants to get involved in a protest, what happened to you, it happens to you. I'm not getting in the middle of that crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Trump. I think Trump did his absolute best and worst in this situation. But I mean, his statement, I mean, he was just basically trying to play the line the best he could. I mean, he was in kind of a hard spot to be.
He's in a hard
He goes
spot
against
every
one
day.
group.
He's absolutely
Yeah.
period.
It's hard to be a president in a situation like this because you got to appease two sides, and one side's not a good side to really care about. But
Well, Well, he openly told them, "I do not support your beliefs. I do not support your beliefs." And that's the thing that everybody's like, he's a white supremacist. White supremacist. Well, I'd like to know how he's a white supremacist because I've seen multiple videos of him throughout the years with some of the most famous black people out there. Jesse Jackson. I mean, I seen like apparently they were good friends at one point in time. I guess not anymore, but
Well, he was a Democrat up until a few years back. I mean, really, he was. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's how he identified, I guess. I mean, kind of like with gender these days, that's a fluid thing, apparently. So.
God, no doubt. All right.
Anyway, let's talk about this album, y'all.
Yeah, let's throw into this album, guys. I mean, I can go first, but maybe I should go first because I'm going to be a little bit harsh on it. Not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't say it's like a 2 out of 10 or anything, but I gave this a critical listen, and I gave this one. I gave him a fair shake, in my opinion, because I know I'm familiar with every one of their albums. I know what their best is, in my opinion, and this is not their best. I compared this album to their best, and me and Anthony kind of briefly talked about this before you hopped on, Chris, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go first, and you guys can build up on what I crumbled down into dust. All right. So album starts off with a song called Ashes. It's a decent song. It's lyrically kind of weak, but I give it a 7. The second song is The Way of the Fist. That is one of the better songs on the album. It's an 8. It's got awesome riffing in it. The third song, Salvation, I give it an 8. I think that's tied to the best, maybe, but we'll get to my best in a minute. You got The Bleeding. That was a radio song they did back in the day, and
is that a radio song?
It was. It's a crowd pleaser.
I didn't know it
was
was
a
a radio
song.
I think the crowd pleaser.
It is. It really is. It's one of those ones they kind of slow down and he gets to sing and not just growl.
Okay.
My favorite song is the next song. It's called A Place to Die. That's I give it a 9 because that's not their best song in their catalog. It's the best song on this album.
I missed what you gave The Bleeding, Jimmy.
I gave it
an 8. Okay.
I gave it an 8. Now from here, Place to Die, we're going down to a different level here. We're going to Devil's Own. I give it a 7. It's a heavy song, but it's mediocre. It's a cop out on previous styles of music. I think they copied too much in. White Knuckles, that's probably the worst song on the whole album, in my opinion. 6.5. I said it's good crunch. Lyrics are retarded. The next song is Can't Heal You. I give it a 6.5 because it's repetitive. I think it sounds like other music. I can't remember the name of the song. I was thinking of it when I was listening to it again today. Death Before Dishonor. I give it a 7. It's a decent song, but it's not their strongest one on this album for sure. And then Meet the Monster. That's absolutely the freaking worst song you can close with. I think it's a turd, personally. I gave it a 7 out of mercy. This thing come in at a 74 out of 100. I think this album's probably a 7 or 7.5, maybe. But as I told Anthony, Got Your Six is a superior album. That is my favorite album by them. And as we go,
so you listened to the thing I listened to had 13 songs on it. I guess you didn't.
I listened to the original album. So you got the one with the extra songs. This is the original release that came out back in the day, and this is the one I have. So these are the 10 songs that were originally released. Now you probably got the one with Bad Company on it. And
there were 13 songs. The Bleeding was done acoustically. It was the last song.
Oh, gotcha.
But, all right. Well, so what was your overall?
I'm giving it probably a 7.5 out of 10. This album makes me want to say run of the mill new metal. The flavors of
You know what, Jimmy? I want to go out and protest, man.
I hear you. This album makes me
light your torch up, man.
I'm gonna tear down some statues, man, just for that.
Flavors of inspiration are coming from Fear Factory, Hatebreed, hints of Slipknot and Disturbed. Lyrically, they're not all there. This is definitely, you can tell this is an early album. Sometimes the lyrics are laughable, This is a form of metal I would expect to hear in a gym with a bunch of sweaty dudes working out. This is not my cup of tea.
What the hell are you talking about?
What are you doing with working out with sweaty dudes, man? I mean, come on.
What are you talking about?
This is the kind of metal you'd hear in a freaking gym. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, you know, I used to listen to this while I was running a lot of times.
So you were with sweaty dudes. I got you.
So I mean, it's ironic you say that. So
this is, like I said, it's not their best album, guys. It's an okay album. This is not even their second best album. I'm comfortable giving them a 7.5. I would probably lean to the 7.5, but that's just my opinion, guys. Who's next? I'm looking forward to hearing them.
I'll give it a shot there next. I gave it a 7.5 as well overall.
Oh shit! I'm really gonna go protest that.
That was my exact. The fact that you gave it that. I don't think it was that bad. I nothing was exceptional for me. I just kind of felt like it was pretty good all the way through. I'll give you my review listings as well. Ash has got an 8 out of 10 for me. Way of the Fist I thought was maybe the best song on the album. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Salvation, The Bleeding both got 7s for me.
Ooh.
Place to Die got 8 for me. The Devil is owned 7.5.
Yeah.
I actually gave White Knuckle an 8. I thought it rocked more than most on that album. And Can't Hear You, Can't Heal You got a 9. Everything else is like in the 7.5 range. I mean, I liked it okay. I kind of told you, Jimmy, there when you were asking me about it. Anthony, I hope you don't think it's wrong. It does seem a little generic to me. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just didn't stand out really. Yeah. I didn't feel like it was as heavy as I expected. There was a whole lot of melody and a lot of it sounded kind of like something you'd hear over in Europe, like some of their music. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guitar harmony, and I don't know. I mean, it was okay, but
maybe that's why I like it so much.
But it's possible. Like we just didn't listen to their best album. I'll take your word on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be their best, but it's definitely still. I don't think they have a bad album. So I'm a fanboy, so it's hard for me to find a bad album or a flaw in their music.
I didn't think it was bad. It didn't stand out, I guess, is all.
Right. I see. That's what I'm saying, Anthony. I don't think it's bad. It's just not.
It's not their best.
I'll say this: like of the stuff we've reviewed so far, it's probably my least favorite. I think Devil Driver was a little better than that, to be honest.
Devil Driver's
well, you know, I don't know if I agree with that statement. I think that Devil Driver might be worse than this.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not my favorite Devil Driver album either.
Devil Driver's heavier than these guys. I don't know.
Why don't you kind of compare it a salad to chocolate when you listen to those two groups? I mean, they're
okay. Well,
yeah, I mean, because Devil Driver is more of a growl band. This is more of a melodic, sort of growling, sort of I don't know, band.
I'm not sure how that works. Melodic growling.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying they got this. This has more singing and stuff than Devil Driver does. They're more of a growl kind of band.
Okay.
It's kind of a hard thing to compare. But
I guess on the metal spectrum, I lean more toward the growl than I do the melodic stuff.
Well, I heard Jimmy's got some over there that can show you some growl and stuff that you may really need to know.
I got plenty of growl over here.
I've heard plenty of growl. Years from Jimmy's his computer there. So, all right, Anthony, let's hear your fanboy perspective. Then.
Throw it out there, Anthony.
I mean, I'm giving it a 9. I mean, I still really enjoy this album from start to finish. It's like I was telling Jimmy before, when I found this band, I heard their cover of Bad Company on the radio, and I think it's a better version than the original, personally. But it got me to listen to more of their music, and I was looking for a band at the time to sort of replace the older generation of metal that was falling away, and this was my first really foray into metal of this style. So that's why I kind of think appeals to me a lot more. Is I hadn't heard of the Disturbs and all the other groups before this. This was my first band to listen to that sounded like this. So it really stood out to me. To this day, it still does. But it may not be their best album, but I'd still give it a 9. None of their albums in my mind go below a 9. In fact, a couple go up to 10. So, you know, but I mean, all the songs are great in my mind. But I agree, The Way of the Fist is definitely a highlight.
Yeah.
I really like The Devil's Own. You know, that's a good one. Death Before Dishonor. The Bleeding, I like the energy in that. You know, and it just Ashes, I think, is a great way to kick into an album. I mean, you know, it's just me personally, but this is good stuff to listen to when you're running sometimes too. You need an extra punch on that last mile or so. So maybe another reason why I like it so much. So, but it may not have been the best one to have Chris listen to first. But
I'll say this. I think it might be something that grows on you after a while. I've really only given it like one solid good listen. It's
you
been a
should
hectic
just
week for me. I haven't had a chance to listen to a lot of music this week, so I kind of like forced this in this afternoon when I was working. So
yeah, you should give just listen to some more of their catalog and see what you think.
yeah,
They
I
definitely
will
start.
say, Chris,
Huh?
to defend Anthony, like I said, I got this when it first came out many years ago, and I did kind of like it when it first came out because it was a little bit different in a weird kind of way, but it still had that flavor of like the Hate Breeds and the other newer metal style bands. It was okay, but it's one of those ones that I kind of pushed aside quickly and didn't keep listening. Whereas Anthony grabbed it, enjoyed it, and kept riding it all the way to this day. And you know, that's the thing with like my prime example would be Trivium. My God, dude, when I got a hold of Crusade, I started listening to that album, and I didn't stop. I still listen to that album this day. So
Yeah.
that just tells you that it's a great album.
Trivian's got a lot of great stuff too.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. You know, and once again, a lot of folks give them a lot of crap. They've made fans and they've pissed off a bunch of fans. But they've changed over the years, like
what's
everybody.
their criticism? What do people have a problem with Trillium for?
Well, vocals. Sometimes it's vocals. Sometimes they get crap for trying to mimic. Like for the Crusade, I think they got a lot of crap because they sounded like Metallica. Well, Jesus, who doesn't want to sound like Metallica?
It's not a bad band to sound like.
What album? Hey Jimmy, what album had the Rats on it?
Rats is the Crusade, which is my favorite.
That's one of my favorite songs by them. I love that.
The Rats, fantastic guys. That album is just absolutely superb in my opinion. You know, and it's looked down as not one of the best albums by most people. I just can't understand it. But hey, everybody's entitled to something different. Like I said, that's when I grabbed a hold of those guys and ran with it.
You can't make everybody happy. That's the way of the world. You just can't make everybody happy. You gotta, when it comes to being a musician, I think you just have to do what you feel and enjoy it. Don't worry about fan response a lot of times.
Yeah, a lot of metal fans are loyal, but at the same time, they're also very finicky. You change 1 ounce of a sound in your group, and you'll lose about half your fans if you're not careful. You know. But then, of course, like Metallica, when they went to the Black Album, everybody pissed and moaned about it. If they'd have kept doing thrash, those same fans who were pissing and moaning wouldn't have stayed with them.
Because it's not the same on every album. You can't win. You can't.
Well,
you just can't.
I can tell you this, guys. Metallica's made a lot more money since the Black Album than they did before the Black Album.
I think the Black Album is probably in their top 5 of all time.
Well, it probably is in their top 5 considering their album. They've only released like 10 albums in 30 years.
So. I mean, I put it at a solid number 4. The Black Album.
God, how dare you?
I like so.
Dude, I can tell you right now, their top 4 are their first 4 albums.
Exactly. Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All. Those are their top 4.
I'll probably go with Master, Justice, Kill 'Em All, Black, and then Ride the Lightning.
Oh
no.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Ride the Lightning is one of the best.
Ride the Lightning is arguably their best.
Maybe number 2 for me.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Ride the Lightning, don't get me wrong, but I think what they did with the Black Album is just amazing. Just to lose the complete thrash sound and make an album like that is amazing for a band to do.
Probably the biggest hit of all time came off that Black Album, wouldn't you say? The
What's that?
Enter Sandman.
Oh yeah.
What are you saying, Chris? I missed that first.
I'd say their biggest hit of all time came off that album, that Enter Sandman.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's good lord, dude. That thing is
played. They probably make so much money off that just from from football teams running off on the field, cranking it all over the country. I mean,
but you got to give them total credit for just taking that turn. You know, I mean, what band would have the balls to just say, you know, most bands, when they slow down a little bit, it's not going from thrash to like hard rock. I mean, or metal, pure metal. It's just, that was a big, 360 for them right there. That took a lot of balls to do that, but maybe they saw the changing tide and they got smart before everybody else did.
They may have. I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm still a Metallica fanboy to this day. That's just not, in my opinion, their first four can't be topped.
Yeah. They're amazing albums, don't get me wrong.
And the album before was good. And, I like where they've kind of made full circle. They've gone back to a thrashier sound. I appreciate that.
The last two albums, I would say, are probably, 6 and 7 in their repertoire.
Well, it's weird kind of judging them, but you know what? Compared to how Load sounds and how Reload sounds, which are both good albums, I kind of fall toward Death Magnetic for sure. I mean, that album blew me away when I first heard it. Saint Anger, let's might as well put that one in the trash can. That shouldn't even count.
I still don't understand all the hatred for Saint Anger.
I can tell you why, because it sucks.
I just still don't see that. I don't see it. It's not their best album by far, but I don't see it. I don't see all the hatred for Saint Anger. Huh?
They just farted that one
in. They on drugs at the time or something. What happened there, man?
I don't know, dude. Somebody got drunk and let him keep the drums going stupid. I don't know.
I think their problem with Saint Anger was they were all fighting when it was made, wasn't it? That just kind of killed the album.
Maybe. I don't know. Dude, I don't know. I know that's the album that Hetfield finally became sober off of. It was so bad it made him turn sober.
I think I'd have been drinking after that album, but that's me personally.
No doubt, dude.
But that's one of those. There's some movies out now that people are still hating on. I'm like, why do you hate on? I don't see the hatred in some stuff, sometimes like some other people do. But a lot of people hate Saint Anger. I don't see it.
Right. Well, Saint Anger is just not that good of an album, man. It's because it's the way it was recorded. It might be good if it was recorded with guitar focus instead of the drum focus.
Yeah. It had weird drums.
All I have to do with Lars, it comes to light now. Okay.
There's your chick. Yeah. Like, ding, 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 ding. All right, so to further discussion, guys, this is something I was going to bring up to y'all tonight. I know we haven't really talked about what we've been listening to this week, but I'm going to propose that we look for a channel name change.
Channel name change?
Yeah, I mean, just to get it to where it's easier for people to find, something that maybe drive some viewers, because I think Audible Extacy is kind of hard to find. I don't know.
I can't even type it in a browser and find it. So you're right. It's very hard to find.
There you go. That's what I was afraid of. I mean, I'm open if you guys want to think about stuff throughout the week. There's literally, when I wrote my notes tonight, I thought of two that hit me right off the bat. One was called Beyond Noise.
Yeah.
That may be already taken. Let's go ahead and you might have checked some copyrights on these before you.
Well, that's the thing. I can't really check them until I go to change.
Yeah. Okay.
And the other one I thought of was something called Enter Sound.
Nah.
I
don't care for that.
That's all right. So Beyond Noise.
I like the first one better.
Well, that's cool.
Beyond Noise. Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad.
You spell noise like noise.
Just music, so like.
That's y'all's homework. So y'all.
Okay, homework.
Well, you know what I'm saying. So next week, hopefully we get together next week. We'll go over this, and if Beyond Noise is the winner, that's cool. I'm down with that.
Let's put it to our listeners. Let's let them comment in the section.
Absolutely.
The comment section.
We
got hits from that.
We have one of our videos has been watched like 10 times.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
Really?
I was in shock just like you are.
Was it the was it the one we did last week?
I can't tell now because it's not letting me. I'm live streaming, so it won't let me go back and look at it.
10 times. I wonder who watched it 10 times.
I feel
How do you know Hey, if someone watched it 10 times, or was it
I'll
10?
tell you what I think it might be. I think it might be from that last one because I think Jason Isbell, if you have him in the title thing, it's gonna draw some viewers probably. He's pretty popular. So.
Well then, let's. I'm throwing him in the notes today as well.
Just keep putting his name out there.
That's why I said. That's why I said we ought to choose some other artists occasionally, just to pepper it up a little bit.
I actually came up with a pretty good artist to review next. If you guys would like a suggestion,
Go for it.
It's different than anything we've done so far. But every time I see anything about country music, they're always raving about this guy. Like he's the next big thing. And it's not like crap country, but it's like the old school country. It's Chris Stapleton. You familiar with him?
Yeah, I've heard him.
Well, he's got an album called Traveler, which has all his hits on it. It's like I guess he's only got one album out.
You got 2 albums out, yeah.
It's the hottest thing out there right now. So if you guys would like to listen to it, we could give that a review next week if you'd like.
Does that happen to be on Amazon?
It is. It's on Prime. You can stream it on Prime.
Good.
I'm down for it. I've actually heard a few songs off that album.
Yeah, I kind of like browsed it today. I was thinking I better come up with some kind of.
Is that the one with the parachute on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song. I thought you were gonna say Luke Bryan.
No. This guy kind of like, I don't know. He reminds me of old school country every time I hear him. So
yeah,
it might be worth listening to.
Cool.
Work for you guys?
Chris Stapleton. That'll bring some viewers.
The album, the name of the album is Traveler. Yeah, that might actually have several hits.
I agree.
Yeah, unfortunately, metal is not exactly the mainstream, but it never has been. So
I do.
It's
all good. It's
I'm not too worried about our viewership, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter to me either way. Just like get online talking about listening to the album.
I just don't. I don't see us getting an AMC show off this or anything. So
probably not.
Oh, if that's what you're shooting for, you guys are retarded.
Like Comic Book Men, It's actually started as a podcast, I think.
That would be a good show, wouldn't it?
But of course, they had Kevin Smith. I mean, everybody's gonna listen to that because Kevin Smith's in it. Someday when my book breaks, I'll be listening to this because of me. So you guys remember that.
I will.
You laugh now when my Dark Roots of Evil book gets published.
You can make us all famous, man.
What'd you say the book was called? Dark Roots of Evil?
Yeah, it's not a horror story, actually. It's about terrorism and a father, stay-at-home dad fighting through a terrorist act that happens in his hometown. And, his kid gets involved, his wife gets involved in it. He sort of takes the law in his own hands.
I like that.
That sounds pretty good, Anthony.
Yeah, that actually sounds very good.
Yeah.
So I decided to run outside my comfort zone instead of the horror stuff I've always done. See if I have another voice somewhere else. So
sounds like a good one.
We'll see.
Speaking of horror, we just finished season 2 of American Horror Story on Netflix.
Yeah,
I imagine both you guys watch that show.
I've never actually watched it, Chris.
Really? That's shocking, man. You love that show, Anthony.
It'd be right up your alley.
Seriously, dude, you've got to watch that.
Yeah, is it on Netflix now? You said.
Yeah.
I'm about to look it up. I've been looking for some new shows since The Flash finished, but football season started.
Watch that, especially with how you like horror movies. You'd love that.
I tried watching the Van Helsing show that's on there.
I will say this: don't watch it around the kids.
Yeah. Man, I watch my stuff. It's usually on the top.
Yeah, Jimmy, it's definitely not appropriate for my daughter. By the way, season 2 wasn't. I think it's worse than season 1.
Appropriate for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like nothing but. It's not appropriate. I'll just say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, usually when I'm watching my stuff, the kids are way in bed, so I'm not worried about it.
Season 1 was great. Season 2 was great. So, I mean, I'm anticipating the same for the rest of them. So,
I wonder if you can download those.
And the good thing, probably, and the good thing about that, Anthony, is every season stands on its own. It's like a completely different story the next season. You don't if you wanted to watch season 2, you wouldn't miss anything by not watching season 1. So.
Yeah.
Although I think they do use a lot of the same actors, don't they?
They do. They recycle actors.
Jessica Lange was fantastic in both of those. I mean, I think she won like a Academy, or I don't know what they Emmy, I guess, for her. Is that what they give for the TV award?
I think so.
I think she might have won for like like 2 or 3 seasons of that show. I mean, she was really good. Everybody was good in that show, though.
I agree. They're good shows, man. It's just
it's hard to find good shows
getting
anymore. You
the
really have
time to watch them's the hard part for me.
What's that?
Getting the time to watch them's the hard part for me.
Well, that's me. You know, that's like when I watched The Flash, man. I was finding time to watch that show. Most of the time, I don't do that with shows. If I have time, I'll watch. But
That's
The
what
Flash,
I do.
I was like, when I was watching that show, I was up in the mornings at my normal time when I'm writing or something, watching The Flash instead. I took a break on my writing for 3 weeks so I could finish that show. You know, it just really grabbed me for some reason.
You need to just start watching season 1 of this, man, because you're gonna love it. I'm telling you right now, it's right up your alley.
It is.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'll check out an episode or 2 and see what it's about.
Give it 2 episodes. The first, I guess the pilot for the season 1, I was kind of on the fence. I was like, I don't know if I want to keep watching this, and then like I kept watching it. It got really good. So
yeah, I do agree.
Usually know by the second or third episode.
It just seems so weird after the first episode. I was just like, man, I didn't know what to think of this. It was so strange, but it's really good. If you give it a little time.
Did you watch? You guys ever watch? Was it Stranger Things? Is that the one on Netflix?
I watched that.
I've never watched it. Have you?
That's a good. It's good, man. It's real good. I'm looking forward to
I've thought about watching that too. I've seen like I see it pop up. Like if you like American Horror Story, you'll like this. And it's like,
dude, you probably reminded me of our childhood. Just riding bicycles and crap like that back in the day when you didn't have to worry about going to neighbors' houses and stuff.
Yeah, it's a sad world for kids. My mom was telling us that they don't even want names on kids' backpacks anymore because strangers can call out their names and try and do stuff like that.
Good Lord.
Like, geez, man, these guys are just ruthless these days.
I think there were probably people like that back in the old days too. It's just that thanks to the internet, social media, and everything, it's just people are more aware now than they used to be. Don't you think? I mean,
well, that's true. I think there's also a lot more people in this world too than there used to be than we were growing up. It's a busier world, man. Especially down here.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll listen to this album. I gave it a little sampling here today, and I was like, you guys are going to like it, I think. So.
Yeah, I've heard it before. I just haven't listened to it in a long time.
Yeah,
he sings a lot about whiskey, from what I can tell. It seems like a lot of his songs. Like Tennessee Whiskey is one of his songs, and the Whiskey Ain't Working. That's one of his songs.
I actually know those 2 songs, too.
I mean, it's good stuff, man. It really is. He must
like
be
I said, when I plug in like Jason Aldean or somebody like that in Pandora, that guy comes up a lot.
You see, that's a disservice to this guy, man. He's different than all these people.
Jason Aldean has got some good music, man. I like his music.
I know.
He actually sounds country most of the time, most of the time.
Yeah.
And Eric Church. Eric Church is another one who's a really good sound. Huh?
But I disagree.
Eric Church has got some phenomenal music. He opened at a Metallica festival or something one time.
Shut up.
He did. Look it up.
I believe you.
There's actually on YouTube, James Hetfield's introducing him at a concert one time.
I'm so sorry.
That's interesting.
Hetfield did used to drink a lot.
Yeah.
Just playing. Guys, I mean, I guess where I started appreciating country music is when I was in the Garth Brooks era. You had him, Brooks and Dunn. You had Dwight Yoakam in his heyday.
Yeah.
Alan Jackson. You can't compare today's country to them, and I'm glad that Stapleton's out there because he kind of reminisces of that late '80s, maybe even early '80s country in some of his styles. So,
it's hard to find good country. I used to like country a lot myself, and it's hard to find good country music these days. Sounds so
I
much
think if you're gonna
poppier.
find it, this guy might be the only one left. So hopefully this will be a pretty good review. We'll see.
One of a few, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we ought to shake it up a little bit on here.
No, I'm
Yeah.
cool with guys. It doesn't have to be all metal all the time, although that's typically what I do. But I do listen to tons of crap. I mean, y'all lucky I don't throw a freaking Miles Davis album on y'all or something.
Well, I told Chris I was listening to Glenn Campbell's son this week. You know, I haven't listened to a lot of his music in the past. And decided to listen to him. He's got some really good stuff. You know,
Never
really,
was a
really
fan.
good stuff.
I can't say other than Rhinestone Cowboy. I can't say I know anything about the guy.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Rhinestone Cowboy.
Man, listen to his song By the Time You Get to Phoenix. That's one of his best, I think. Galveston is one of his best. Some of those really big hits he had were just amazing songs. I really like that song. But the Wichita Lineman is another one. Really good one.
We'll check it out.
Yeah.
What decades that stuff come from? Is that like the 50s or
70s.
I think that's more 60s and 70s.
is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the stuff, you know, I was thinking about this week. My dad used to listen to a lot of that style of music, but I don't remember Glenn Campbell being around the house much. I remember a lot of the other artists like John Denver and stuff, who I still listen to.
Yeah, I was a fan of the
Those
old possum,
guys,
wasn't
my shoulder? Oh, my God.
Huh?
he? Your dad was a fan of the old possum, wasn't he, Anthony?
Yeah, the old. I still listen to a little George Jones
I
occasionally.
kind of remember him playing some George Jones back in the day.
Awesome.
Yeah. George Strait's probably my dad's favorite artist.
Is he really? Okay.
Well, George Strait is to Dad what Buffett is to me, so it's kind of.
You know my problem with George Strait, and actually I believe Anthony, your brother, pointed this out to me at one time. That he uses a guitar as a prop. He doesn't actually play it when he's on the stage.
So does Alan Jackson.
He's like rests his arm on the guitar and sits there and sings.
So does Alan Jackson. He does the same. When I saw him in concert, that's all he did. He rested his arm on them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know. What are you gonna do?
Matt was always cracking me up because he was always saying he ought to release an album called Straight Jacket. Spell it, you know, like his last name with jacket at the end.
Yeah, that'd be good. Good. That's a good idea.
But you know, one of the
rowdiest
rowdiest shows I ever saw was George Strait. His crowd
really?
was rowdy. You would not believe the rednecks in that parking lot.
I
Revving
would.
cars, drinking beer.
Oh, hang on a minute here. Was it in the parking lot or in the show?
It was a little bit everywhere. We were really shocked of how rowdy his crowd was.
Was there a pit?
Huh?
Was there a pit?
No, not for George Strait, but I mean, it was just, we were surprised.
Oh,
down there.
I guess
Mosh pit down there.
rowdy crowd, my definition of rowdy crowd is two different things.
No, I mean, we were shocked because we went with my dad, and I think my mother-in-law might have went, and Emily might have went, and a couple of us went.
Oh, this is recent then.
Yeah, probably about 10 years ago, I guess now, if that.
Gosh,
I was just shocked. Huh?
You guys been together that long? 10 years?
Hey, me and Emily?
Yeah.
We've been married for 11.
Oh, time flies, doesn't it? 11 years. Wow.
Yeah, dude,
We got married in 2006.
Yeah, man. I'm sure you know. It doesn't seem that long ago to me. That's crazy.
It seems that long to me some days.
Ouch.
That's crazy, man.
Nah, I still love her just even more now, man. You know, she drives me bug nuts someday. I still love her. But that's what wives are supposed to do, right? Drive you nuts?
Mine drives me nuts. She gets a black eye. Isn't that right? She's sitting right over here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Jimmy, Chris, I know who wears the pants in y'all's family. Trust me. Can't even deny it, can you, Chris?
I wear the pants. Isn't that right?
That's right. Pants wear.
Well, let's wrap it up, fellas. Give me
Yeah.
an early morning hike. I'm gonna have to actually wake up early.
What time's early for you guys?
6.
Is that early? That's about what I get up every day.
Oh, dude, I get up at 5:30 every day, but 6 is early.
I get up I get up to 6:15 when I have to go to work, but I don't really want to do that on my off days.
So where y'all hiking to tomorrow?
A place called the Channels. It's like a state park up.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
Are you familiar with that? Oh yeah. What is that? Clinch Mountain, Jimmy? Is that what that's on?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, remember if you hear dueling banjos, run the other way.
Correct.
I remember that.
Correct.
That's my words of wisdom for the night.
Sounds good.
All right, boys.
Well, I guess we'll do the Chris Stapleton album next week. I don't think I got anything major going on next week.
I don't know if I do or not, but we should get through it.
So.
Sounds good, guys. All right, let's sign off.
All right, boys.
All right. Well,
Y'all later.
Later, guys.
see you later.